Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Motivation Monday, March 10th, and happy Harriet Tubman Day, celebrating the woman who fought for us to have equality. And as we see in this administration, we are still fighting for equality. So it's also a Black Women's Day to rest. And March is Women's History Month. So our very special guest today is an actor and model, and he's here for his very first interview with me here in the Dollhouse. And I'm super excited to have him here. A very special shout outs to my brother, the K Tukes, host of the K Tuke Spot. Please make sure you guys go check him out and support. I thought I would come on and do something very simple, very beautiful, a nice black dress for today. Something very sensual, very sexy, whatever. So, without further ado, let's welcome to the Dollhouse, Dove Hill. Happy Harriet Tubman Day.
What's good?
I'm doing wonderful. Welcome to the
Yes, ma'am.
Dollhouse.
Glad to be here.
It's such a pleasure to have you here. So before we kick off this interview, how has 2025 been for you so far?
Ah, it's been a short period of time, but it done had its ups and downs. But nothing to complain about. Everything's been an opportunity, but nothing's really been a loss, so can't complain about it.
Yes, yes, yes. My earrings falling out, so I'm gonna just take them off over here. So let's get into the beginning. I like to start at the beginning of my very special guest journey. Who is Dove Hill? I know you model, I know you act. I've seen you doing your thing out there on the runway, photo shoots and all. And look at these two beautiful people. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Chef Ladybug. Thank you. Thank you.
Was
Oh my goodness.
I see you,
So
Neil.
tell us about your journey. Who is Dove
Um,
Hill? And at what age did you develop the passion for modeling, for acting?
well, honestly, when I was younger, my my grandparents tried to get me to do some modeling, but it only came out to like three photos. That was about it. And that was the end of that you heard about it. But ever since then, it's just been, just going through life, dealing with everything that life throws at you for the most part. And, nothing been easy. Nothing been easy, but nothing good in life is ever easy. So, it's been a lot of hard work, a lot of overcoming things. But it won't until maybe 10 years ago when I first was reached out to about doing some modeling and stuff like that. And that was with Tim Johnson and Alva Page. They reached out to
Okay.
me. Yeah, they reached out to me and was asking me about if I was even interested or ever thought about it. And I was like, nah, I never thought about doing anything like this before. So here I go, making my trip to Raleigh. And it started with a photo shoot at his barbershop, some haircuts, and then eventually did my first fashion show then. But getting I ended up getting married, having kids and everything. So the whole modeling stuff was out the window at that point. I was just 100% focused on my family. Um, but I ended up getting divorced. Ended up getting divorced. Took some years off to myself. Just kind of, after spending so much time and energy in one direction, and now you got to figure out where do you want to go now. I just kind of got into my little shell for about 3 years, just figure out what I want to do, what is it that my path is, and it came back into like modeling and acting, and we here now.
Yes, 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 yes. Now, that was going to be my next question for you because you mentioned your children and everything. How did you find the balance between the two? You said, I wanted to focus on my family. And I know that can be difficult for a lot of us in this business with balancing out family and then doing fashion shows and being on the road. So, how did you find that balance?
So at first, before it was really just pushed to the side, it, it was more so okay at first, but there was no money, no benefit really coming out of it. So then it was like, all right,
Yeah.
using all the extra resources that we could be having on gas and other things, getting clothes for certain stuff. I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, it's not really gonna work.
It's a lot.
And yeah, it really is. And we're young. We're young at the time, so everything, yeah, everything's planned to happen, but it's still you don't know what you're really getting into until you're actually in it. Now it's like, damn, we knee deep, we drowning now. But
Yes, yes, yes. And look at you now. Fashion shows, photo shoots, back to back. Again, a very special shout out to my brother, K Tooks. He is the host of the K Tooks Spot. Definitely go and check him out. I'm all about supporting Black owned
most
businesses,
definitely,
Black models, Black fashion designers, Black everything. And that brings me to my next question for you. With this career shift, what has been the best decision you've ever made in your life and in your career overall?
mm, getting back into it, because right, I can go in depth about a lot of things, but where I was at that moment, I it was a lot of negativity and everything else, and then switching over into this lane and this direction, it was like a fresh start, just a restart, getting away from everything, just everything that was around me, I just left behind. I just up and left one random day. That was it. I just moved to a whole nother city, and just like I'm gonna make this work, and I have. So that was the best decision ever because if I didn't, it'd probably be a whole nother story right now.
And sometimes you have to leave. I talked about this last week with my guest, Tamoris Ellis, and he talked about being able to move from coming out of North Carolina and finding his own as a filmmaker, as a director, as a producer, and branching off. Sometimes it can be, change can be scary. And that was something we touched on last week on the show, was about stepping outside of your norm. What has been the moment in your life that has been pivotal for you where it's just like, oh my God, this is scary. And I'm really jumping out on faith to do this.
Uh, so I'm a very modest person. Like I'm very modest. I walk around with like my shirt off and stuff like that. But unless I'm in private and stuff like that, I'm not really in private. I don't like wearing clothes at all. You find me in the least amount of clothes, but in public, anything like that, most you ever see is like a shirt off. I don't. So there was this photo shoot I had to do for ESPN's the body positivity stuff where they choose like regular people out in the community who aren't famous or nothing like that, and then they pair them with a famous athlete, and then they do the body positivity shoot, and that was one of the moments where I was so nervous about it because like I don't do shoots like this. I don't. I
You're
don't
bearing
like this.
yourself to the world,
Yes,
literally. So I understand.
yes, but I knew it would be worth it. And when I did it, and after I did it, it was like, okay, these actually look good. This is artistic. This is the way I want it. This ain't this tasteful. I actually love this, and I'll be comfortable doing stuff like this more often now. And it's been a big. It was really good.
And, and I must say, by you doing that, it also teaches a lesson. I'm glad that they chose regular, everyday people because that's something that we all go through. And I'm pretty sure you've went through this as a model, being a model in the industry, in this business where it's about perfection. I know this working in the fashion industry firsthand with being like this influencer here on this platform, how everything is about beauty and perfection, no flaws. Everything is airbrushed, magazine covers and all. And it's just giving the American consumer, the people like us that buy the magazines, that say, wow, it's so perfect. But then when you're there alone and you're standing in that mirror, I'm gonna go back to what you said, when I'm alone, when I'm in my element, when I'm alone, it's just me. That's what it feels like. Whereas being stripped to the world for everybody to look at you, all of these eyes are looking at you, so much criticism and everything that comes along in the fashion industry. So my question for you is, how did you find that confidence that, okay, I can do this, and stepping out of the norm for things you wouldn't typically see go on in the fashion industry?
So for me, a lot of my motivation was insecurities. So
Mm,
for the longest, it was like during at one point in time, like in high school, I'm sitting on top of the world, feel like the most beautiful man that ever exists and stuff like that. But then life has a way of humbling you over time, and then you get around. Like I said, there was a lot of negativity. So you get around a lot of negativity, it makes you feel ugly. It do. So a lot of insecurities really kind of pushed and motivated me to try to be that perfect figure. So I'm in the gym like 3 times a day, trying to make sure like my body look better than anybody that if I show up to this event, I know my body's gonna look better than theirs because hey, I'm in here 3 times a day. These insecurities are driving me to be perfect. People are telling me like, hey, dude, you look like a god, and I'm just like, no, I'm not. No, we're not there yet. Nah, it's not. Nah. And people never understood that, and it drives you crazy. That method of working drives you crazy. You got to be crazy to do it, and it really was. And that was been my biggest motivation was the insecurities, and it wasn't until all the compliments and all the love and
Oh
the
yeah.
attention from people that are in certain places that they notice you. You're like, wait, hold up. If you notice me, there must be some truth to what people are saying now. It was stuff like that. Then it was like, okay, I'm realizing what people are telling me now, and it's slowly building over time. And now we're to the point. It's like, okay, I know I deserve to belong here. I know I deserve to be there, and it's no longer having that self doubt, but it's still that same motivation still there. It's like I'm still not 100% comfortable with myself, so I gotta push. I gotta keep striving. I want to be better. I want to be the best, and there's only one way to do that, and it's just bust my butt to do that, and that's how it's been. People at the gym I used to go to would look at me like, you're here again. I was like, yep, yeah, I see you're not off work yet.
And that was going to be another question that I wanted to ask you because I know I understand that too, even with battling that, because it's like, okay, I won't get it done until I see the results that I want doing this. So, do you think you're tough on yourself sometimes? And I know, and I'm using this as an example because when hosting this platform, I've gotten to a point where I couldn't go back and watch my interviews. I would critique and I would always point out something. And my brother K Toops, who's in the comments watching us now, he would say, "Girl, you're tripping. Like, you did amazing. Why are you beating yourself up?" And I've gotten to a point, and I think sometimes we are our own. It's a saying that goes like this, and I'm pretty sure everybody has heard about it, where it says that we are sometimes our own worst critics. And we would go and pick out the things that other people, they're just like, we don't see it, but you did amazing. And we still got to go back and perfect it. That's the perfectionist in us. I give you another example. I'm a big Beyonce fan. I love Janet Jackson as well too, and I think these women will give you an amazing concert. You're gonna get your money's worth at a Beyonce's concert and at a Janet
Oh
concert.
yeah.
But the craftsmanship that goes into putting these shows together for us, the consumers, the concert ticket buyers, the fans, they put a lot of work into it. So when we talk about that level of perfectionism where we want everything to be perfect, this is what I think Dove here is saying as well as myself. So you got to be able to understand the craft, to understand us and why we work so hard to give you what is amazing photos, amazing interviews, amazing content to the consumers, the everyday consumers. So that was going to be my next question for you is, do you think you're sometimes hard on yourself?
Uh, yes. I'm most definitely hard on myself. I'm my biggest critic. And hey Coco, she's my witness on that too. I'm my biggest critic. I'm hard on myself. People like her tell me like, no, you look good right now. You're able to go out there and compete with anybody, and I just be sitting there like, nah, I'm not doing it until I feel like I'm up to my own
Yeah.
standard. And at first I used to judge people and be like, but you look amazing. Why would you think that you don't? Until I'm in that same position and I'm just like, I understand. I understand it now. Like I get it. So, it took, like I said, life has a way to humble you and teach you a lot of things, and it taught me that viewpoint on that. And it can either be very dangerous or it can be weaponized to be very blessing. So that's up to you.
And it is amazing to have people like your friend Coco and then for myself, K Tooks, to have these people in your corner backing you and saying, "You're tripping. Like, do you see what I see? Are you seeing what I'm seeing right now? You look amazing." So it takes to have those type of people encouraging you along the way, letting you know, like, hey, you did great. And the amount of love you're being showered with, that we all are showered with, knowing that we are doing something incredible, that we are making an impact on other people's lives. As long as I can go to sleep at night knowing that I've made an impact on someone's life, saying, hey, I feel good about myself. I feel confident. And it takes a while for you to get to that level of confidence. So, my next question for you is, because sometimes we have our up days and our down days. What does a great day look like for you?
Um, a great. Hey, look. First, I'll say any great day would be a day with a nap in it. You catch your nap on any day of the week. Oh, it's a good day. But no, a great day for me would be I would just say a very productive day. Normally, I used to be in a position where I was working nonstop. So, uh, a good day with me for me would be getting work done early and just finding some time for myself. So now a good day for me is just actually enjoying enjoying my everyday life. And the more that I actually think about it now, I don't really care what I've been productive with during that day. I just get up and I enjoy life because there's a period of time where every day where I get up, it's just like it's just another day, and I'm not really looking forward to this. Really ain't. So now that I have I have people around me that really make me appreciate my day to day, it's like being around them is that's really a great day for me. And then if you add on the productivity of everything else, getting things done, getting shows accomplished or signed up for, getting photo shoots set up, speaking to certain people, stuff like that. Yeah, that's good too. But it's just simple things for me, and just being able to be happy and enjoy these days now has been just a great day for me.
What's your favorite way to relax in your downtime? Because I know it's difficult for all of us being in the business to find time for our self care or our leisure. And I stressed this in my last interview with Morris about how important it is for self care. So, what are your ways that you relax in your downtime?
Um, you might laugh at this, but my downtime be cuddling with my girl. I get cuddled up and I'm good. I wake up, I fall asleep, wake up, but oh, I didn't slept for like 4 hours. It's cool. I got more time.
And that's amazing. Get some of that loving. We all need it. If we have that significant other in our life to give us that loving, to get that's a good way to relax because they take you out. Your significant other will always take you out of your zone where it's like, babe, I'm here. I understand what you've been going through. I know you've been on set all these hours. I am here for you, right here for you to lay in and just cuddle with. And those are the best moments. Love on your significant other and cherish those precious memories together. So that's a good way to relax. Me, I do the complete opposite. I love to shop. I stay in Sephora and Ulta. I love makeup. I'm a big makeup beauty junkie. I have to have every single thing that comes out, every palette, every lash, everything. But everybody has their own way of self-care, and that's a good way to relax. You don't have to shop to do it. Some time for me is my family, and I also have a fur baby now. So I have a 5-year-old toy poodle, and she is very curious about everything. She likes to
Yes.
get into everything. So now I have to make sure that she's good. So yes, but that's my downtime. If not that, then I'm cooking. But these are ways that we take care of ourselves and indulge into ourselves and pour into ourselves because we can't pour from an empty cup. But
No, you're not lying about that. And I think people forget, you know, it's important to look out for ourselves in the midst of looking out for everybody else. And it's so easy to get caught up in everybody else's stuff and forget about your own. And then when you sit there late at night and you're wondering why certain are bothering you, or there's a heavy weight on your chest, and you don't know where it's coming from because you done got blinded to the things that you're going through while focusing on everybody else's problems.
and sometimes some people just can't control it because it's like when you have a group of friends, you have your friends and everybody, they're looking to you as like the, oh my goodness, how can I say it? Yes, exactly, Shane. You can't pour from an empty cup. And then when you have a group of friends, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us can all relate to that, you have the mother bear of the group, the one who's always, or shall I say, like the Iyala of the group. I'm more so like the mother bear of the group, or the Iyala. I want to fix everybody's problems, but I still got to make sure that I'm good as well too. I like to try to give everybody advice and make sure that everybody is good. But you can't do that from an empty cup. And it's like with us being in this business, you're in high demand 24/7, photo shoots, interviews, uh, podcasts, anything. You're on heavy demand. So it's having to give so much of yourself to the world. It's important that we pour back into ourselves as well too. So that's why self-care is critical.
Nah,
Yeah,
it really is.
absolutely. Absolutely. What is your definition of beauty in the midst of chaos? We got so much going on in the world. What is your definition of beauty and how you define it? And also joy. What is your definition of joy?
Um, Beauty is such a personal, opinionated thing, but I feel like beauty should be just being true to yourself. If if you're true to yourself at the end of the day, whatever you're doing, you're living in a beautiful moment. And no matter what I say, no matter what anybody else say, we can tell you it's ugly all day, but when you're in that moment, you know you're in that moment and it's beautiful. So you just gotta live it yourself. And you can't be worried about everybody else gotta say. Everybody's gonna have different opinions. That's why beauty's so subjective now. Everybody finds something beautiful. We might not agree to it. What you find beautiful, I might not find beautiful. But if I tell you it's ugly, you gonna argue with me because you know it's beautiful.
Exactly. And everybody defines beauty in their own way. Like, I, how do I see beauty? I see beauty as waking up every day in the morning, being able to open my eyes, my beautiful brown eyes. You can't really tell on camera, they're black, but being able to open my eyes, God being able to shine a sunlight into my room every day. That's a blessing and that's beautiful to me. Us being able to wake up every single day and say, thank you, God, I am here, I am alive, I am living. That's beauty. I could easily say Whitney Houston is the most beautiful woman in the world, and that she is. I love Whitney. I love Beyonce. I could say they're beautiful, and they are. But to me, being able to celebrate my beauty is from God alone. From God alone. Our trust in Him, our faith in Him, knowing that everything is going to be all right. So, in the midst of all the chaos, we have to find beauty. So, I had to ask. And the next part is joy. How would you define joy? How do you find joy in everything that's going on, all the craziness? How do you find joy?
Um, I'm I'm a simple person, so if I can find joy in sitting in solitude and quietness.
Mm,
Right, I could I done had moments where I had to sit in solitude and quietness and was perfectly happy. Because at the end of the day, as long as you're not disturbing my peace, I'm at joy. I'm happy with that. I'm content with that. And I think that's where I'm starting to get at now, where it's just like I'm just doing everything to protect my peace. If something's
mm.
going to disturb my peace, just go ahead and go about your business.
You said a mouthful right there. That's why I kind of and took all of that in because my guest last week and then my previous guest that I've had on said the same exact thing, which is practicing the art of stillness, being still in the moment, taking everything in, meditation. And I know a lot of people meditate heavily. Or first thing I do in the morning is I have my conversation with God. I talk to God and I do my affirmations. It's become a ritual for me, Dove. And being able to sit and just take everything in, all of the blessings that God has showered us with, all of the knowledge that He's blessed us with, all of these things that He's given to us, it can be taken in an instant. So it's just like, I need to practice stillness and be still and in the moment because this can help me grow and become a better person. And it can also help other people as well too. So it's important that we take time for ourselves in the morning just out of the day because we're always glued to our phone screens. Like everything is on there 24/7, but take a moment, practice the art of stillness, close your eyes, deep breaths, and just be like, wow. I can't believe this is real. Like, is it like deja vu? Like, is this really happening to me? Like, have you ever had a moment, or shall I say, an epiphany where you're like, you're on set because you talked about being a father, open up in the interview about getting your start in the business, being able to find that balance and taking time for the family. But now you're back at it. So do you ever have a moment where you're on set and you're like, wow, is this real? Like, is this deja vu? Or like where you're pinching yourself like, God, what are you trying to tell me? Like, is this my purpose? And yes, it's your purpose.
Uh, yeah. I had a few moments like that, and
Mm.
it was like it was for Paris Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, and then it was a few other shows too. And it was just like in those moments, it's like you're really here right now, and like a lot of people kind of do know, but then a lot of people that really have followed me would have known it. But for everybody else, it's like at one point in time, I was homeless, and that was less than 2 years ago. You feel me?
Wow.
So it was just like I'm sitting there living out of my trucks, doing this modeling stuff too. I'm going down to Atlanta doing shows, and I'm sleeping in my truck, getting out the truck early in the morning, hitting the mall or hitting a Planet Fitness, pretending to do a workout, then go take a shower, and then come back out and then get prepared for the show. So like a lot of people didn't follow all that. They weren't there when there was an actual struggle. When I'm trying to make deals with people that stay in these other states that are part of the show, stuff like, hey, you try and go in on the spot. They agree to it. Then when you get there, it's like, oh, you staying with family? Damn, that's what I'm about to do. So yeah, they don't know that part of it. They ain't seen it. So getting to where I'm at now, after dealing with all that, is like, yeah, you see it sometimes. He's like, that all that was actually really worth it. You kept telling yourself that. Then when you finally reached them heights and them different stages, you're like, oh, okay, I'm here now. It was really worth it. And that's why I be telling people now sometimes it's like I know I was quiet before, but I do pop off a lot more now. But that's because everything that I done been through and dealt with, overcome, and to get to where I'm at now. Yeah, I got my right to talk my stuff now. Like y'all gonna know I'm here.
And you know why? Because you're human. You're human, and there are people out here who are in the fashion industry who've been through the same exact thing. And you come from a place of vulnerability. And by you sharing your story, it can empower other people who've been through similar situations as well too. And I'm pretty sure you've heard of the story of Dwayne the Rock Johnson and how he started his company. I think it was $7 Films, something like that, where he came to Los Angeles to kick off his acting career or wrestling career, one of the two, with only $7 to his name. So it goes to show you that from tragedy comes triumph. And you are a living testament of that, a living, breathing testament of that. Because there are people who've lost their homes in the Los Angeles wildfires. They came to Los Angeles and they've lost everything. And there are a lot of people who are still finding their way. Like, how do I find my way? And that is when we have to have these moments where it's just like, wow, like this can't be happening to me, God. Like, are you giving me a sign? Like, this is deja vu. And even me, and you've seen some of my interviews. The biggest moment that I've had was interviewing the most beautiful woman in the world, and that is Vanessa Williams. I would have never thought, and y'all, and I'm being completely honest here, I'm being transparent. So everything is down. I'm stripped for y'all. Okay. When I got that interview with her, that was one of the most life-changing moments in my life ever. And that time when it came for us to do the interview, I was so nervous. My heart was beating. I had to pull it together. I was sweating everything. I'm like, Lord, I can't be doing this in front of the one and only Miss Vanessa Williams. So it came together. And as soon as she popped up on the screen, beautiful blue eyes, fresh face, no makeup. She said, hi, how you doing? And I was like, okay, this is moment of truth. You can't freeze up. That was the moment I knew that I was to continue on with this platform, because there have been plenty of times where I wanted to give up. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have had that feeling where it's just like, no, keep going. Keep going, because this is your purpose. And as soon as I got done with the interview, the first person I called was my mother. And my mother said, see, you got a purpose. And my grandmother, who's 80 years old and living, thank the Lord, I'm still thankful to have her here. She has the spirit of a 20-year-old dove when I tell you. And I'm going to tell you all a story about my grandma real quick because she was in the hospital one day and she was getting better because they flew on a helicopter. She didn't know that they flew her on a helicopter. And my mother asked her, Eloise, because my grandmother's name is Eloise, how you getting back? No, she calls her mama. Mama, how you getting back to town? She said, I'm gonna get a ride with somebody. Because they knew, they finally told her that she was on the helicopter. But also she said they don't got no pork chops, no steak in here.
Hmm.
And in the hospital now.
But they really don't.
I wonder where my mother gets that boldness, that outspokenness from. And it's my grandmother. My grandmother's 80 years old and living. And I'm blessed to have her here, to be able to hear her voice, to pick up the phone and call her every day. These two women encourage me to do what I'm doing. And yes, my brother remembers the interview. And I told K2, I said, brother, I'm nervous. But he was like, sis, you got this. So again, it pays to have people in your corner backing you on your vision and to see it all come to fruition where you're sitting there literally pinching yourself like, wow, this is my purpose. This is what God wanted me to do. So
No, for real.
yes, thank you, Chef Ladybug. A lot of people don't have their grandmothers to pick up the phone and call every day. I hear her out there in the living room now. I was teasing with my mother. I said, I have bionic ears. I can hear everything that goes on out there. So I hear my grandmother's voice. She's on the phone with my mom now. But it's those little things that we take for granted. And it's important that we cherish them. So for you, what was that moment in your life that totally blew your mind in your career that was a highlight for you? Because I know you've mentioned walking in Paris Fashion Week and New York Fashion Week, which is out of this world. What was that one moment for you that blew you, that just blew your mind?
Um. So so the moment that really kind of blew my mind might have been that first New York Fashion Week that I did, and the reason for that is I didn't think I was actually going to be there. I I had suffered what they thought was a heart attack maybe the week before, or the week before that. And I got diagnosed with blood clots when I was like 20, when I was like 24, 25, something like that. And they had no idea why I got them. No track record in my family history, no injuries, nothing like that. Just randomly out the blue one day, I thought I slept on my leg wrong and woke up. It was hurting, and I was like, oh damn, I don't know what's going on. But ended up having a recurrence of that. I was working a job that I ain't had no insurance and all of that, so I really couldn't do too much. Blood clot medicine was like $900 a bottle, so I couldn't afford it off the money I was making at the time, and then trying to make it work here in Raleigh. So I was out of the picture. So everything I was doing was just eating natural, drinking natural juices, stuff like that, drinking nothing but water, cranberry juice, having me a red wine since it oxidates the blood and stuff. So I drink, yeah, I was really straight and narrow. Then in the gym 3 times a day. I didn't think nothing of it, but ended up having a bunch of symptoms going on during that time. And then the week before, the like Friday, that Friday, the week before I was supposed to go to New York for Fashion Week, ended up going to the hospital to get myself checked out. They ran the test. After 2 days, they finally came back in like, hey, we think you had a heart attack. Like you have the numbers are saying that you had a heart attack. The signs are saying that you had a heart attack. But when we look at your heart on the screen, it's actually very healthy. It looks really good. Maybe this is because you're in great shape. You've been eating well, so the heart attack didn't damage your heart. It just gave you a scare, like, hey, there's something going on. So that Friday morning, a week later, I get released from the hospital. Well, no, Friday at like 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. My flight, I already got my ticket. My flight was supposed to leave at 3. So I'm leaving the hospital at 1. I'm making my way to the apartment to get my clothes and stuff so I can go ahead and get on this plane and go ahead and get down there and make it and stuff. And I get there late anyway. I get there late. I didn't think they're gonna let me on, but the lady was just like, it's your lucky day. I can go ahead and let you on the plane so you can get your flight and stuff. And I was like, oh shit, all right. Get down there. I still recovering from things. It's kind of hard to breathe, kind of hard to move around. Body feel kind of weaker than what it was after dealing with all that. But I get down there to New York and I do all my Fashion Week shows. And it was just a moment during one of them shows where I was just like, yo, I'm actually here right now. And I was like, you just faced a life or death situation at one point, but because of everything that you've been doing, you kind of saved yourself there. Now you're here. All that hard work really has paid off. So it
But
was
God,
it was like a combination of a lot of different things at once. It just kind of hit like all that work in the gym, all the work to get to where you're at now at Fashion Week, like everything just kind of at that moment it's like you really are here. You really did it. So
wow. And I never knew. I encountered something serious. I went through to the doctor to get, but not blood clots though. It was just my blood was abnormal. When you get your blood test results back, it was abnormal. So that little red flag, God gives us these red flags like something going on. Check it out. And it's important that we pay attention to these things. God wants us to pay attention. So I called the lady who gave my blood work back to me, who mailed it out to me. She said, give her a call because your blood work is abnormal, you know, and she said, okay, this means that, okay, it was a vitamin or something that you took. And I was like, why is my blood abnormal? It should be just like everybody else's blood. So I called her and she said, you got to cut back on the fried foods. When I tell y'all that broke my heart, because I'm born and raised down here in South Carolina, and that's all we eat is barbecue and fried chicken, macaroni and greens, collard, all of these things that we love, all of the soul food. That was my wake up call for me right then
yeah,
and there. So I have been cautious about what I eat lately, and I want to be around. So when God gives us that little warning sign right there, like, okay, you playing with your life, take this serious. And as he told me, I started to make that change. And it hasn't been an easy one. I mean, I still indulge in moderation every now and again, but I'm mindful because that's one thing he wants us to do. But with us being mindful, there's always a blessing in disguise. So when that doctor told you, hey, you might want to go and check this out, this is what we want you to do. And then you getting that booking for New York Fashion Week that same exact day, that is God blessings in the sky. His blessings is right there in the skies. So he's watching us when we don't even expect it. Or I lost my sister back in 2018. So it's just like I have little moments up and down here or there where it's like when I get the success, when I get certain things that happen to me, even as it pertains to this to style, this platform, I'm just like, okay, God, you're sending me a sign. And I know that's her. I know she's watching over me because each and every one of us, we've lost somebody who's been significant in our lives. And they've helped us and encouraged us along the way in so many different ways. So when we see those blessings, just know that that's our guardian angel watching over us and telling us, like, hey, we got you. This is what we want you to do. Continue to make us proud. And that's what it should be. And that brings me to my next question that I wanted to ask you. If you could live forever, would you want to?
um, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a hard one. Damn.
And I know we all have these thoughts where it's just like, if I could live forever, if I could turn back the clock and just start back to square one and all the way up until now and live a long time and still encourage people along the way, would I want to? I mean, I have those conversations with myself too. I always think about, what do I want my legacy to be? What do I want to be remembered for? So if you could live forever, would you want to? And that goes for my audience, my viewers too. If you had the choice and the doctor says, okay, take this serum, or someone, or God says, take this serum right here, we're going to let you live a longer life. Would you, if you could?
I probably would. Wait,
Mm.
did you be growing old as it going on?
That's up to God. And I
Ah,
mean,
oh,
it's up
there's a question mark
to
on this
him.
one.
It's up to him. So yeah.
Uh,
If I had the choice, I mean, we can't stay young for everybody. We can't stay youthful forever. It's Dorothy Dandridge. I was watching Holly Berry in the Dorothy Dandridge movie, and she said, "I want to stay young and beautiful the day until the day I die." And it's just, and her sister told her, "You know what? You know that's not realistic. Like, come on now. I wish we could. I'm 31, and I wish I could stay 31 forever, but pretty soon I'll be in my 50s and well 40s and in my 50s and so forth and so on. So I mean, if I was given the chance where I could take this serum and I'll still be old or whatever, I would take it because with age comes wisdom, and our elders know best, y'all. So our grandmothers, our great grandfathers, our ancestors, they know better. They've been through this. They've been through life. So it would be good to see us in an older age, maturing and giving the next generation that wisdom. Coco said she will live forever.
you know,
And my brother,
I'll be down for it, but the only thing I wouldn't look
you
forward to is like, you know,
want to keep, he want to keep that body.
I
He
hope,
want to
no,
keep that
no,
body. He want to keep that face, all of that.
it's not just, it's not that. It's just fact, you know, at my little young age now, my body be hurting. By the time I hit like 100, I
That's
know
that's
them
another
knees
thing
gonna
too.
be whoa.
Arthritis. That's the thing we have to worry about later on down the line is
I ain't gonna
arthritis.
kick my butt.
And I'm scared of it. My back is hurt, my legs hurt, and all of these things. I can't do the things I used to do in my younger years. So as I'm getting up here, like I said, I'm 31. As we get up here, and I'm dreading it because my mother, I'm gonna say she's 20. She's in her 20s. She's in her prime. I want to live to be able to do this show. If you know, you know. You don't ask another woman her age. Well, it's okay for us to do it, but you don't ask a woman her age. But my mother, I'm seeing what she's going through, where she's just like, my back's hurting. I'm now, when you get in your 30s, because my sister warned me before she passed. She said, when you get in your 30s, because I would always tease her about it all the time. But she's just like, you just wait for when you turn 30. And here I am. I'm 31, and I got a nephew. He's on his way to 2 years old. So it's coming. The back pains and stuff is coming. I can't wear the outfits I used to wear in my 30s. Like you kind of have to change things out. But see, with age comes wisdom. And we have to be comfort to step out for change. And that's for a lot of us. It can be scary. A vampire maybe. I don't think that would hurt, right? Listen, vampires can. Y'all seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer? The vampires look young. They're 100 years old and they come out looking young. But that's not real life though. But I wish we could. So maybe we
I'll be down
ask
for
God.
that.
It's
I
coming.
think I'll be down for that. I would.
Well, yeah, because they do live eternally,
We
eternity,
would
forever.
have one heck of a nightlife
And you sleep during the day, come out at night. So
on the
who
on the
knows?
party scene for thousands of years.
I mean, if it was up to me, if God gave me the chance to take a serum and he said, okay, well, I'm gonna let you live a long life. But here's the thing, your youth is being taken away from you. Your beauty, all of these things that you love is being taken away from you. I said, I'm okay with that. Because I want to be able to encourage the next generation. I don't need even though my beauty is currency, fashion is what you people know me for. I'm okay with that. I could do without. As long as I get to wake up another day from God's blessing saying, okay, I want you to do this. This is your task. This is your assignment. And that's to encourage people. I would take it. But however, like Queen Coco said, if it comes down to being a vampire where I could keep my beauty and my body and all of those things, I would go for either or. Either or if I had the choice. Either or.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we always have to think about these things because we talk a lot about legacy and what we want our legacy to be for the next generation. So as we embark and as we go on the next phase and the next chapter of our life, we have to have these conversations.
No, you're right about
Because my mother told me, she was like, you can't stay young forever. You can't do the same things you do when you were like in your teens and in your 20s. Our mothers would always tell us this is time for you to grow up. So it was time for me to grow up when I'm 31 years old. I noticed that I mean, I could still have fun. That's the beauty of it. We still can have fun. We still can enjoy our years. And that's what it's about. What keeps you younger and living a long time is laughter, is bringing joy. And that's why I asked Dove here the question about what brings him joy and how does he find his joy. And how do I stay so resilient? Is because I live, I laugh. I'm surrounded by people who love me, who shower me with love on a daily. And for anybody out there, when you are showered by love, oh, sweetheart, nobody can tell you different. Nobody can tell you otherwise. It is a good feeling and it radiates all over, everywhere.
That's the
So not
truth.
just drinking your water and as everybody say, mind my business, but also protecting your peace is critical too. And that's how you live a long, healthy life. So I mean, I wish God would create a serum that says, okay, you take this one day and you can live forever. You can be a vampire, you can live forever, and you can keep everything you want. I would go with that option, but it's not realistic. Yeah. Those are little things we have to think about as we go into the next chapter of our life. So for you, that was going to be my next question, which is the next chapter. What is next for you in the next chapter of your life? You got your modeling career, you've got your acting.
Um, for the next chapter, honestly, I'm mostly all my life been a go with the flow type of person. I
Mm,
never really forced my way into certain directions. I kind of just went where the wind kind of took me. So who knows what could be in the next chapter? It's whatever's in store in the universe.
I'm glad you said that. That brings me to manifestation. It's important that whatever we put out there, because I do vision boards, and I know a lot of people do like their pie charts or whatever, and create a list of goals of things that they want to work on for the next year. When 2025 rolled in and I did my vision board last year, 2024, I was like, okay, this is what I want to work on. I want to work on this. I want to work on this. And I do a mental checklist every single day as I walk past my vision board. And I said, okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. What else is next? So it's important that we also manifest and envision as well too, because without those things, speaking it into the universe, it won't happen. So make it happen.
Yes.
And I remember one of the manifestations that I wanted to do was, I think it was 600 interviews, completed that back in 2024. And it's just like, wow, we're halfway on the road to 700. Well, 800 now. Today would be interview 760. Last week was 759. So 760 today. We're on the road to 800. And I completed that goal back in 2024 for 600. Now we are almost at 800. And it's because I've put in the work. I kept going on. No sick days, y'all. None. And that's through the grace of God. I know people are like, how does she do it every single day? Because I do it Monday through Friday. And it's because that resilience. Every day when I get up, I say that prayer and that conversation with God. One of my affirmations is, I am courageous and I stand up for myself and others. And you have to be courageous. You can't be fearful of change. Change is scary to all of us. And having to adjust and go through all of these, everything,
Definitely.
even with the fallback clock. I know a lot of us forgot, having to reset your clocks back an hour. It threw us all off.
Yes.
So those are little life changes and adjustments. But we get used to it day by day. It's out of our norm a little bit, and it's like, hey, I'm okay. I'm used to this. I can get used to this. So we have to. But that's all I have for that as that part and the next chapter. But
You know,
my last, go ahead. I'm sorry.
my fault on that, but it is something that you said, and it's crazy that you said it because I was speaking with somebody the other day about
Mm-hmm.
it was a little back and forth debate over, he was asking why will people want to um take away or condemn people for saying sending prayers for or we're keeping you in our prayers and stuff when it comes to certain incidents and accidents. And
Right.
it's like I told him, I was like, in the Bible, it constantly tell you whenever you do a prayer, make sure you put the action behind that prayer. If you're asking for something, make sure you're going out your way to make sure that that's actually possible to happen. Don't just sit there and say a prayer and it's like, well, it's going to happen because I said a prayer. No, it don't work like that. You got to actually go out there and put in the work. Just like you were saying, you prayed for this and then you went out there and made it happen. You couldn't just sit there and say a prayer, then never open a computer, never picked up your phone and did anything. It would have never happened that way. And I think that's where a lot of people also got to be focused on too. Is just, yeah, we all have the want, we all have these dreams, but if you really don't put in the
Oh
work
yeah.
behind it, it's not going to happen.
Faith without work is dead. And if we don't get out here and apply the work, apply the pressure, it's not going to come to fruition. I started this platform right after high school in 2016, and I had no clue what I was doing, came in with no experience, and it was all on a whim. But I must say, from then to now, coming from high school, coming into my own as an adult, growing along with this platform, I learn as I go. And a lot of us, we sometimes learn as we go. It's like learning how to ride a bicycle. Sometimes you have to start off on training wheels. And I had my training wheels, and now I can do it without the training wheels. So it's easy for all of us in some aspects. But some of us, we have obstacles, we have hurdles that we have to climb over, that we have to get over. And it won't happen if you don't manifest. And it's important that we manifest and put it out there. Say, I want to go and I want to start that business. Y'all watch Shark Tank, right? So you see all of the people going on there and they are presenting their product in front of Damon John. Dre, is that his name? Damon John?
I think
Brother
so.
K Tukes, let me know if I'm right. Damon John and Barbara Corcoran, you are advertising your product to them. And it's just like, they gonna want to see how serious you are first. They're gonna want to see if this serious, this is legit. Can I use this? What are the benefits? They're gonna ask you those type of questions. So you never know if you don't try. And you can go the first time and they'll tell you no, but then you can go back. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Damon John, that's his name. I want to make sure I was right. But you're going and you're presenting your product to them. And they're going to want to know, what are the benefits of this product? What can it do? What is the life-saving hack with this product? And you won't know if you don't manifest. So put your business out there. If you have a cooking business or a catering business and you want to go in to open a full-fledged restaurant, you have to start off somewhere. And I'm seeing a lot of people, and we see them everywhere, where people take the cars, the RV cars, and they put like, okay, we're doing food right here. Start off there. And then if you want to do both, if you want to start off there and then start to invest into your business of owning a restaurant, you have to start. So that's what I want to do. I want to encourage people to manifest. If you got a vision, write that thing down. How I created Style by Stevie was so randomly, and I'm a Scorpio, so we are the most risk taking of the signs. But it's like, okay, I'm dared. Okay, you dared me. Game on. I've been told no. No means on spelled backwards. So when somebody tells me no, I love being challenged. I'm just like, I got your little red wagon. I see you. I'm gonna fix you real good. You done woke up something in me. Okay. So I was sitting in my room brainstorming one day, and we called it Weekdays Topics. And one day I said, okay, it's got to have a name. It can't just be Weekdays Topics. Style by Stevie. And so me and my mom, we invested, got my thing trademarked and everything. I remember writing off the paperwork to get this trademarked. So, and then getting it back the next day to know that it's been certified that it's mine is the best feeling. And I said, okay, it's up from here. I got to invest into backdrops, fashions, all of that. That's coming out of my pocket. So I said, it's worth it. I love it. But, and it didn't happen because I didn't manifest. And it happened because I manifest, I meant to say. It happened because I manifest and I put it out there. At first, I didn't I just called it Weekdays Topics. And then from there, I started to invest gradually over time. And Everything else just happened off of me, off of my work, interviewing and getting out there, promoting myself, putting it out there. You are your best promoter. So remember that. That's something that I put on my vision board for 2025, which is you are your best promoter. You are
So,
your own best promoter. So promote yourself, market yourself, get it out there, let people know. They're like, Style by Stevie. The first thing when they look at it, people think fashion instantly because of style. They think
well,
in
dude,
vogue.
yeah.
They think style. They think all of these things, but it's just like, no, I have so much more than that. It's interviews. It's not just fashion, but it's a lifestyle. You're getting knowledge here. You're getting people sharing their stories. And yeah, you're gonna get the fashion, you're gonna get the glam or whatever. But I also want people to walk away informed. And I do it in a way that is so revolutionary where it's just like, wow, we've never seen anything like this before. It's different. Because like I said, my name, people think fashion. We think of style, we think of looks, we think fashion. But it's just like it's so much more to that. Like if you watch Martha Stewart or you watch Drew Barrymore, they have so much going on in their show. It's like a gumbo. So you're gonna get news, you're gonna get everything. And on my platform, I want to be able to provide that as well. So that's how that came to be. And that brings me to my next question for you. Do you daydream a lot or do you like to sit in the present? We talked about being in the present, being in the moment. And it's okay to dream. A lot of us, we dream
Um,
a lot.
I I am a person that sees the bigger picture in the end.
Mm,
I see the bigger picture, but I also know that you gotta look at the smaller frames to get to the big picture. So yeah, I will daydream. I'll see the end goal all the time. Like I see it. I can smell it. It's right there. But I like I understand as well as like it's a process. So just like putting a puzzle piece together, and before you see the image, you got to put all the little pieces together, and that's where we at.
absolutely. Absolutely. And it's important that we dream, we manifest, because people think that dreaming is just for when we were kids, we would dream. We would be like, okay, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a singer. And then as we grow into our own, we start to say, maybe I want to do both. I want to do something else along with that too. So it starts at a very young age in each and every one of
Really
us.
does.
And I knew for me, it was 8 years old. I was sitting in the doctor's office with my grandmother and I picked up a magazine. And yeah, I couldn't remember. It was Ebony Jet, one of them. And Tony Braxton was on the front cover. This is how I got my public speaking skills, y'all. I said, Grandmama, look, it's Tony Braxton. And she just like this baby can read. So from there on, it sort of broke me out of my shell. I would read everything in the mail that would come. My grandmother would give me little catalogs to read, and I just kept strengthening myself for public speaking. High school, we had to stand up in front of the class and recite Shakespeare, and I think it was A Midsummer Night's Dream, one of those two, or Othello, one of the two. And we had to recite one of the lines from Shakespeare in front of the class, and I was nervous. I was like, this ain't even a crowd of 15,000. Why am I nervous? These are your peers you see every day. Why should you be nervous? Now, when you need to be nervous is if it's like a crowd of 5,000 people or 10,000 and so forth and so on. But this kind of helped me mold myself into public speaking and break out of that mold and shyness. That's because I dreamed. I started off reading certain things. Like, I don't care if it was the Bell South Bill. I don't care if it was a coupon for Walmart, whatever it was, I would read it. I would read it. My grandmother would give me little things to read. Not just my grandmother, but my mom would be like, read this. And that's how I strengthened myself for public speaking skills. Just from that alone, it broke me out of the mold of being scared to speak in front of people because I was at a point where I was so shy and reserved and I was picked on a lot through high school. It kind of just woke up a tiger inside of me for me to start standing up for myself and coming into my own with being vocal on social issues and things that go on in the world. And so that just from that, taking public speaking and reciting the lines to Shakespeare, shout outs to Miss Ferguson, my teacher. I think I made a 98 when I did my line. Yeah. She's like, you got it. You got it. So I went up there, aced it, piece of cake, and then from there on, the rest is history. So that's one moment pivotal that I'll never forget. It's just that reciting that line to Shakespeare. I think it was A Midsummer Night's Dream. And yeah. Some people got nervous. They're just like, I'm nervous, I'm shy. I'm like, we see each other every day. So it's a blessing. It's little things like that. So that's why I asked that if you daydream or if you believe in living in the present. And for all of us, we have to figure out at a certain point in time, we have to dream, we have to vision what is next to come. What do we want to do in our career? How do we get to this point in our career? And it's just like, wow, God, like, is this really happening? Like, to me, all of everything that I've done is coming back. And then some. So it's those little things. But all right, fashion dolls. Before we close, I'm gonna take some questions from the audience, from the viewers. But it is Women's History Month, celebrating women and our achievements to the world. And I told Dove, and we're also gonna do the turn the table segment where Dove gets to ask me some questions. So I'm nervous. My heart is beating fast. I don't know what he's going to ask me. My guests get to ask me as many questions as they want to. Life, goal, passion, dream, fashion, beauty, whatever they want to know, they get to ask. But before we get to that, Dove here has to give me 5 things that make Black women, us, dynamic. What are 5 things in your eyes that make Black women
Mm,
dynamic?
let's see. Well, we can start off with resiliency. The fight that's in black women as well. Uh,
Our
um,
mothers.
when I'm not sure how families are now, but when I was growing up, grandmothers held everything together. Women were the backbone of the family. If if grandma passed, it took a while for everybody to get back together after that moment.
Oh yeah.
Um, the beauty of black women, you know, it's not appreciated enough. A lot of issues that talk down on it, and I don't feel that. Um, also the strength to be able to keep supporting the same niggas that talk down on y'all every day. It's been the same way since civil rights. You put a man in the face of the movement, but it's the women that spearheading the entire thing. And the same men will talk down on them while they still support them. And it's the same thing for today. All you see is black men talking out on black women 24/7. But when societal issues pop up, when you need a protest, you need a march, who's the first one to organize it? Who the first people out there? So, man, it's about time to actually start appreciating black women like they should be. There's a lot of unnecessary hate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And those are the 5 things that make us unique, that make us dynamic. And Dove is not lying, because if you go back in history, we can look at the Black women who were the focal points, the Coretta Scott Kings, the Betty Shabazz, Malcolm X's wife. We've got today is her day, and as I was introducing you in the beginning, today is Harriet Tubman Day.
Oh yeah.
So these women have fought for Black voices, for us to be here where we're at. There's always been Black women, queer people, and so many others that have fought so that we could have our rights and equalities. And we're going to continue on. It's going to be a long fight, but we will continue on. But yes, celebrate and just appreciate Black women. All right, 24. That was mom. 24/7. Um, it's important that we give Black women their flowers, our mothers. So every day, every interview after I'm done with an interview, and I showed my mom a clip from one of my interviews that I did last week, and she just smiled, because I give her so much, so much. For any man, for any woman, the most precious, and I say the most precious diamond that anybody can have is their mother, because your mother brought you into this world. She brought you and gave you your life, put breath and vessel into you, blood into you, and we are living testaments of that. So every chance I get, I'm always gonna talk about how thankful I am for my mother, because my mother, as a Black woman, and now raising a Black woman, myself and my sister, and my brothers as well too, because she's taught us to each have a voice of our own. And to not only that, but don't take those small things for granted. So the mother, I'm going back to what Dove said, the mother, the matriarch, our grandmothers, the ones who have the knowledge, who've been there, who've experienced everything that we've talked about from the civil rights movement, all of that, they are there, and I'm thankful to have my grandmother 80 years of life. And a lot of people don't have their grandmother or mother to pick up and say, but cherish your mother. The women, we are precious to everything, and you wouldn't be anywhere without your mother. So to my young ones that watch my platform, you call me Auntie Stevie. Auntie Stevie is telling you, cherish your mothers. Cherish your mothers. And you better love on her too, because life is too short. We lost Angie Stone, who's one of my favorite singers, and she's a mother. So I can only imagine what her daughter and her son are feeling right now.
For
Cherish your
real.
mother. Cherish your mother. She's the black diamond is the toughest to cut. Your mother and your grandmother, those are the black diamonds. Now we've seen other diamonds being cut, but black diamonds is something in that diamond that makes it very difficult to cut. And a mother's love with her child, a mother's bond with her child is unconditional. It was one day I was sitting in the living room. Before we get to the I'm not trying to deflect because he gonna put me in the hot seat. Y'all waiting on it. um, it was one day I was sitting in the living room and me and my mom were talking about something, what was going on in the world, all these things. And she said, I got your back. That is the bond that a mother and a child has from day one. I'm going to protect you. A mother is going to protect her child. So shout outs to all of the mothers out here. Anybody who got kids, all the mothers, all the fathers. That's that bond. They're going to protect their offspring, their children. And we see it in nature too. You go out and you try to pick up a tiger's lion or a tiger baby cub. What you think the mama, father, or the tiger gonna do? What you think they're gonna do? They're gonna protect their offspring. They're gonna protect their
Yeah,
own,
you look.
and that's what we do. It's natural instinct. It's human nature. So I just want to say that. But now my heart is beating so fast. It is time to turn those tables, fashion dolls. So I'm gonna give it on to Dove here, and Dove is gonna ask me as many questions as he wants to. I have no clue what he is going to ask me. My knees over here are patting back and forth. My heart is beating. So take it away, Dove.
So we get right into it. What what is the next chapter for yourself?
Well, I want to grow my empire. With other than just having this platform, I want to grow my empire. Like I mentioned, Drew Barrymore. I see she has home decor. She has a magazine. She has cosmetics. I see myself doing that. So why not let a black woman do it? That's what I want. Of course, black people, we have somebody that is representing them. So that's what I want to do. That'll be my next goal.
So your what's your biggest motivation to get there?
My biggest motivation. Every day I say it all the time. It comes from God, just His grace, just Him being here, just my sister, my guardian angel. Those are my biggest motivations. And my mom. It's important that we have family backing us 100%. And it's so amazing to be in a business where a lot of family, they come in no experience, they don't know anything about it, but just to have the overwhelming support from your family is something that I cherish. So that's my biggest motivation for me to keep going and hosting this platform. It's my mother. She's a Libra. I'm a Scorpio. And I think I get my feistiness and my fieriness from her. So it's in each and every one of us, all of my siblings, 4 brothers, 2 sisters. And everybody has their own personality, but I would have to say, out of being the most vocal, the most adventurous, it was myself. So yeah.
Okay, I'll follow up with this last one for you, and it's kind of a two-parter. What's the I know we spoke about like high moments, but what would be the low moment for you in this career that you're chasing that made you want to really sit there and think about quitting? And part two of that question is what was it mentally, emotionally, physically that really assisted you to keep going, to not allow it to break you and make you stop, but to actually keep pushing and deal with the pain and or disappointment and to keep on.
Wow. The first one is being told no. Being told no because you're too dark. You're not what we're looking for. Societal's beauty standards is fair eyes and light skin. So that's one. And I've always had to be the one to, like I said, constantly prove people out of all of my siblings. Because it starts at a very young age when we start to know our worth. And what was the second part of the question? So I would have to say that being told no. Yeah.
How did you overcome it, or and what was your mentality during that process to help you overachieve that or overcome that?
I would have to say I got to a point where I started to build up my confidence because when somebody told me, "Oh, you're not what we're looking for. You're too dark. You're too this. You're too that." At one point, I was considering literally bleaching my skin. I was considering cosmetic surgery, all of these things, and I'm just like, okay. One day I started to look in the mirror and it's just like, there's nothing wrong with you. God made you perfectly just the way you are. My mother told me the same thing. And if anybody who's struggling with self-confidence, your mother, your grandmothers, your elders will give you that reassurance you need. And that's why we need them. We got to hold on to them and love on them. So my mother showed me, she said, you're beautiful. I had you. You embrace, you don't need to change nothing. God made you perfect in his image. And that's for each and every one of us. So it was that moment right there that I started to gain my confidence for myself. And I was just like, okay. And that's when a good contour, a good highlight, a good lash, a good glam team, all of that came into effect. Um, Listen, you got to embrace your confidence. Don't change a thing about yourself. That was the moment for me right then and there that told me there's something wrong with them. They're dealing with internalized confidence issues. It's not you. You look in the mirror, you're beautiful. To each and every one of us, we're beautiful and divine in our own likeness. God created us in his likeness. So you know you were destined for greatness, right? That was the moment right then and there for me, right there. From being told, no, you're not what we're looking for, you're too dark, to embracing just all authenticity. We love dark skinned women. Yes, it's their problem. Absolutely. Colorism is a thing. And overcoming that and being able to start my own thing where I'm just like, I don't have to worry about your beauty standards. F your beauty standards. I can do my own thing. And I can also empower African American women who look exactly like me because you don't see a whole lot of shows. Well, you've got Sherry, you got Tamara, you got Jennifer, but I'm not in mainstream daytime. I do just right here on the ground. But it's coming though. It's coming. It's coming. I'm manifesting and I'm putting it out there. But yeah, you have three leading black women in daytime, and it's Jennifer Hudson, Sherry Shepherd, and Tamron Hall. So I'm not on that caliber yet, but it's coming. It's coming. So I'm gonna keep praying, keep hoping, keep wishing, and more blessings and more to come. But that's how I've learned to overcome that from being told no. And I've always took it as when somebody has made me cry or made me sad, or to a point where I'm emotional, I'm just like, okay, we all go home and we sit down and we internalize that fire inside of us. And I'm just like, again, that energy that my mother has raised us to have, like, okay, I'm gonna show you a little red wagon. You done
Hmm.
did bad in school. Your mother coming home to get you. When she say, "Oh," she's flashed that nice, genuine smile. You in trouble. I can't whoop you in front of. I'm gonna wait till you get home and get you.
You ain't lying about that. As soon as you see that smile, you
Yeah.
know it's over. Oh, she's
You
serious.
see the flashing of the white teeth,
She
like,
crazy.
oh, I'm gonna get your ass. I'm gonna get you.
I think I
You made
pushed
that
her too
bad
far.
grade in school. You talking back to the teacher. My brother got it bad. And my brother did it so bad. He told the teacher, go and he told my mama pull up, and the teacher waved the car down, and my mama pulled right back up. She said, what's going on right here? And so yeah, my, My brother got it bad though. Yes.
Ooh,
But it's those little things that we take for granted, but they help mold us into the adults that we are today. So yeah. But confidence is all about confidence. That was the question, the second part of the question that Dove asked me is how did I get to this point where I'm at now? It's overcoming that colorism, overcoming all of the obstacles, fighting, having to fight, constantly having to prove myself. But I'm in a place now where I'm just like, you got it. You got this. God got you. Your family got you. Your supporters got you. Your viewers got you. You're surrounded by love. And when you're surrounded by love, nobody can tell you otherwise.
and
And I live by that.
and have you had that moment where it's like, you got to that point where you don't feel like you need to prove anything to nobody no more. It's just I just need to be seen now. I just need that
I'm a,
opportunity.
I would say I'm living in it now. And I'm still having to prove myself. But now I'm at a place in my life where I'm just like, it's okay. You don't need to do any more. Let your work speak for your worth. Let people see how good you do. You hold these conversations. Let people see your worth. Make them know it. And if they don't want to see it or if they choose not to see it, you make them see it. You make yourself be seen. And that would be my advice to anybody. Make yourself known. Make them know
Don't give them an
that
option.
you're there to make a change. So, yeah,
Yeah, can't give them an option. It's either you're gonna see me or you're gonna see me.
exactly. Let your presence be known, and that would be my advice to anybody on that. Or who doesn't feel valid? You are worthy. You are worth it. You are enough. And you say that to yourself every day in the mirror. Because there are days adults suffer. We see teenagers when we were in our teen years, we would suffer with peer pressure and confidence and all of these things as you're developing, as you're coming into your own as a young adult. But
Yes.
now in your adulthood, it's like we still have self-confidence issues. You still can be an adult and have self-confidence issues. But the thing is, how do you handle it though? Those affirmations, those reassurance can get you a long way. I'm telling you.
They sure can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, any more questions? Fashion Dolls, audience, do y'all have any questions? Dove, do you have any?
I'm done with my questions for the moment.
All right, Fashion Dolls. I guess we don't have any more. So, before we close out, any encouraging words you would like to give to your supporters, to the Fashion Dolls here at the Dollhouse?
Um, the main thing that I would tell people, we have a we do have a lot of distractions in life. We'll come across a lot of things that'll be obstacles in our path, but as hard as it may be and as difficult it may be at times, you just gotta lock in and ignore everything around you
Yeah.
and just push forward like you are blind and you're determined to walk through this one path. And that's how it's gotta be. And a lot of times people don't want to make sacrifices. You don't want to put down the alcohol, or you might not want to put down the blunt no more, or you don't want to take time to not go out this weekend, or you might not want to just to just to everything that's not even beneficial to what you're doing. And sometimes you do need to sit there and take a year off to do that and do everything more. And it will actually pay off. Like you just got to be focused and you just got to lock in. And like you were saying too, you gotta manifest it. Say you're gonna do it. Not even say it's gonna say you want it. Say you're gonna get it. Like it's mine already. Because I'm a big believer on that. I done said multiple things multiple times and it's happened. And it's like that every single time I say if I want it, I got it. And that's all I gotta say and I eventually have it. So, you know, get locked in, speak it to existence, and then put the action behind it.
Yes. And I'm going to add on to what Dove just said. Today's quote, today's final thought comes from Louis Pasteur. And he says, let me tell you the secret that has led to my goal. My strength lies solely in my tenacity. We talk a lot about resilience. And the way to be resilient is every day you wake up, you pray, you talk to God, you reassure yourself, you surround yourself with like-minded people who love on you, who pour into you, and you pour into yourself. And when you pour into yourself, it reflects on the inside as well as the outside. You see a difference. Your skin is changing, you're glowing, you're feeling good, you feel healthy. I'm healthy, I feel good, I look good. And it's because I pour into others as well as myself. And when you do those things, God will bless you majorly. And the Lord has blessed me to see 760 interviews, no sick days. I may have taken breaks, but that's because I kept going. There have been days when I did not want to get up to do this, to do interviews every day. But you know what? I kept saying two words, and those two words were but God. God is the one that can help you get to the cross of that finish line. And Rihanna has a quote like this also before we wrap that says like this: you don't look at all of the chaos, you look towards going towards that finish line. And that comes from Rihanna. So focus on your goals, stay focused on your destination and what God has intended for you to do, your purpose, because we all have a soul purpose. And some people may not feel like it. Like, what is my purpose? Or you're still finding or discovering yourself. But sit down. And as Dove just said in the beginning, mid part of our conversation, you have to catch the replay, everyone, in case you missed it, is you have to sit down and sometimes practice the art of being in the present and stillness. So I want you all to remember that, fashion dolls. And without further ado, great conversation. Our interview was slated for tomorrow, but I said, you know what? I'm not about to let this glam go to waste. And my body is banging in this black dress. Oh no, no way. So, so let everyone know where they can follow you, where they can check you out, and I would love to have you back on the show again. I had such a great
Nah,
time.
most definitely. I definitely popped back on. It was a good talk for real. But you
Yes.
can follow me on Instagram or TikTok at lethal underscore looks 1111. And Facebook is not really anything professional, but if you want to, Dove Hill, I'm up there.
All right. Fashion dolls, there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, Dove Hill, and joining me tomorrow, we have Phil Elam. So make sure you guys tune in. I will see you tomorrow. And it was such a pleasure meeting you. I had such a great time. And you guys can check this interview out exclusively on Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube. Head on over there and subscribe. And also be sure to hit the community tab. There's a lot of information there. Women's History Month, Black History, it's a lot. So make sure you guys go and hit that community tab and check those posts out as well too. And stay informed here on the gram, style by Stevie underscore daytime. I love you all. And again, find your purpose. Be purposeful. Be fabulous. You are dynamic. You are amazing. And then some. Times 10. I love you all, fashion dolls. Y'all take care. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Take care, everyone.
Definitely.